Hello Oracles! Well, Tesla's epic Q4 is already starting to show. We are down 1% at the time of this recording pre-market, but we got news over the weekend that Austin has produced 20,000 Model Ys to date. So this is a great start for them. We know that Berlin has already hit that number, so we are going to just continue ramping from here. Looking at sales across the world when it comes to Model Y, Elon back in 2021 had stated that the Model Y is going to be the best-selling car in the world. Not just EVs, all vehicles. We are already on pace for that. We are pushing pretty close to that this year and will most likely overtake that next year. So looking at the Model Y becoming the best-selling car in the world out of all vehicles is an insane number to think about, especially at the fact that Elon called that last year, saying that this is the number that they are going to be hitting. And then we look at the Q3 earnings call where they were discussing how the lower priced vehicle that will be coming out in the future will actually sell more than all of their models combined. Just shows you the magnitude that they are going to have going forward with all their vehicles. So having one vehicle being able to outsell all of their vehicles, one of which includes the best-selling vehicle in the world, means that this new vehicle is going to be the best-selling vehicle in the world, potentially the best-selling vehicle of all time. And over the weekend we got word that over in China their orders have picked up significantly. They've gone up 25 to 30,000 vehicles. So we know that, we've gotten the words from last week that by the end of this year the subsidies are going to be going away, potential price raises coming again in China. So with that coming, we may end up seeing even more orders coming in for China just so they can get these delivered. Now, even as Zach Kirkhorn had said, they're still trying to smooth things out, so it's not like they're going to cram and rush at the end of the quarter to try and get all of these delivered, but when it comes to domestic deliveries, those are much easier than getting cars onto boats and shipping those around the world as an export. So we may end up seeing quite an epic Q4 coming in, just as Elon had said. And now, as Gary Black had mentioned over on Twitter, Wall Street is definitely not taking into account what Zach Kirkhorn had said on the Q3 earnings call. He said they may come up just short of the 50% year-over-year growth number when it comes to deliveries. However, when you look at those numbers alone, based upon where they are at right now with deliveries at just over 900,000, and the fact that they are at 936,000 last year, when you extrapolate those numbers out, you're looking at around 460,000 vehicles getting delivered for Q4, which based upon Wall Street's estimates of 400,000 and based on the Q3 numbers of 340,000 is an epic Q4. So even if they come in with just that 460,000 vehicles, that's still going to be an epic number to come in at, considering where they have been. And then on top of that, production numbers should be even higher, because when it comes to production, they're just pumping out as many vehicles as they possibly can. So they're trying to get those produced, because they know that all the vehicles that they are producing are being delivered. It's just a matter of where in the wave will they get delivered. And as they're smoothing out the wave, there won't be a wave anymore. So the cars that are going to be produced, last couple of weeks of the quarter are going to end up probably on boats as they're smoothing things out. Then of course, as we get new gigafactories around the world, we are going to have less logistical questions, and they're going to be a lot closer. So there's going to be a lot more domestic deliveries and shorter export times going out there. So this whole thing will end up smoothing itself out even more over time as we have more factories around the world for logistics. And if you guys had not seen it, Lex Fridman had a great interview with Andrej Karpathy. I'll put a link to that in the description below. It's about 3.5 hours long. The entire thing is really good, but you could go ahead and check out all the timestamps if you want to check out the Tesla specific stuff that they had discussed. And some of the things that they were talking about, obviously full self-driving, AI, Optimus. And so one of the things that Andre had discussed was the fact that trying to put a time frame on when this is going to get solved is so difficult because nobody has ever solved it before. It's not like the actual vehicle production itself, where people have produced vehicles before, so you can take that information and kind of extrapolate out what you think it's going to be in the future. Nobody's ever done this before, so this is why, Argo AI has now stepped away from doing this. So many people had made promises back in the 2017 range, despite the fact that everybody just calls out Elon for calling it out. There's many other manufacturers out there who said that they thought this would be solved by 2020 or 2021. It is not. It is a problem that a lot of people did not anticipate being as difficult as it was. But Andre said that the team is well on its way to solving it, just not sure when, and it's just so hard to put a time frame on that just because of the fact that there's so many unknown variables that go into it. So Elon, of course, does put time frames on it. We are most likely going to be getting that wide release by the end of the year, and Elon does feel that we will have it solved over the next year. Now, of course, with robotaxis coming on board, it seems like they should be having this solved, but who knows what's going to happen with the robotaxis, whether it's just a smart summon thing that they're going to use in parking lots to start until they do get this solved. Again, there's a lot of other questions that are out there for that. but looking at the fact that, Andrej is saying that they will have it solved and it's going to happen. Lex also asked him about, LiDAR and radar and why it's not, necessary to have those in there. And as Andrej had explained, it's just an unnecessary expense, and it's just so much bloat that you don't need to have in there. And so by taking those out, you're going to become more efficient and streamlined. And the more important factor between all of this is the data collection. Having all of this information coming in and fleet size to be able to bring in that data is going to be way more important than whether you have on LiDAR or radar, because you want to be able to process all of that data as quickly as possible to be able to get through all of your algorithms and put out there all the information that you need into the system for the data to be able to go back out there and perform even better in the future. So that data collection is so much more important. He said he does feel that in the future, other companies that are working on FSD are going to end up removing LiDAR and radar as well for similar reasons. And one of my favorite questions that Lex had asked him is about why he had left Tesla, and Andrej was just pretty open and straight with it and said, he started working at the AI team over in Tesla and he basically created it. There were two guys there that were working on a computer that were at their feet, and he came there and he built it to over 1,000 people that are working on the team right now. He ended up becoming more of a managerial and corporate role than anything else, and he wanted to get back to the technicals. So he loves Tesla, he loves Elon, he has no problems, and might actually be open to coming back, maybe working on Optimus and AI. And Elon said on Twitter that he would be more than open to welcoming Andrej back onto the team. So it's a great partnership here, a great relationship that they had, and Andrej was just doing, what he wanted to do, which was more of the technical side of things and then teaching some of it as well. Didn't really want that corporate role. So I have a feeling maybe we will end up seeing Andrej coming back in the future, especially to work on the Optimus and AI projects. So that was very nice to see that relationship there was definitely a good, solid relationship. We had seen this over on Twitter, but to hear it coming out of Andrej's mouth himself was great to see. And one of the things that Lex had mentioned as well is when it comes to, the gratitude that they have for each other, and when it comes down to just the humanity itself, is, showing gratitude for others and helping others moving forward is going to in turn be good for you and everyone in the community. And I thank you guys all the time, and I thank all the other content creators out there, because going out and supporting each other to get to their goals, for all of us being on the same team, is very important. And it's one of those things where I look at people and I say, all right, well, are you supportive of others, regardless of whether it's going to, put them ahead of you or not? That to me is very important. And for me, that's why I try to do what I do and help promote and support everyone else. And so then I start looking at, Legacy Auto, who is not doing that. They're not out there supporting. Tesla themselves is like, all right, well, we're doing really well. We're not going to hold you guys back, but, we open source all of our patents that are out there. You guys can go ahead and use it. We have no problems licensing out our FSD so that you guys can have it as well. Tesla's genuinely going out there trying to help all of humanity and everyone get moving forward and get to a better place, and they have no problems with other people and competitors coming up as well. They're helping support those competitors also, but it's those competitors that are genuinely trying to move forward. Like if you're intentionally trying to hold Tesla back because they're going to slow you down, why do you want anything to be a part of that? That just bothers me, and I don't like that kind of nature when it's out there. Is Tesla's trying to help humanity move forward, and if you've got companies like a GM who are trying to hold them back, or even the government who is trying to hold them back, it's like, I thought we were all on the same team. I thought this was team humanity trying to move us forward. Why are we trying to slow others down? So Lex had mentioned that, and that's what I extrapolated out of this when it came to my insights from what he had said, because I'm like, that's just human nature, is people want to be good. And Lex had mentioned that himself, is people in turn want to be good. And a lot of it could come down to social media kind of just magnifying a lot of the negativity that's out there, and it doesn't need to be that way. So hopefully Elon's acquisition of Twitter will help maybe kind of transition us over to social media to be more of a positive and open truth-filling area, rather than just a place of negativity where it's just beating everybody down. And it's not so much about, just telling everybody that, hey, you're doing great, you're doing good, just being cheerleaders all the time, but it's about being open and realistic and giving constructive criticism and constructive feedback. Ross Gerber had mentioned it himself in one of his interviews, talking about how it's like, you can go out there, and if somebody's going to, contradict something that I say, or somebody's going to challenge what I say, and they're going to come back with, their own facts and due diligence behind it, and we can have a nice open discussion about that. I can learn something, the other person can learn something. It's going to be a great conversation. But if somebody comes out and they're just like, hey, you're an a-hole, it's like, all right, well, what did I get out of that? Absolutely nothing. if you're going to call me that, back it up with something. If you're going to say that, I suck, that's fine, but give me reasons as to why. This is what constructive criticism is to be able to build that up. And as a whole entire society, it seems like there's a lot less of that that's out there, especially when it comes to social media. So hopefully when it comes to Twitter and the changes that we are going to see, we'll be able to get a lot more of that constructive criticism and constructive feedback to help all of us get better in the future as well. So all in all, I think this epic Q4 is just starting. We are going to see some great numbers coming out of this. Don't forget, we have the FOMC meeting going on this week. They are going to be raising interest rates on Wednesday, and then next week we are going to be having the midterm elections. So after that, we are then going to be getting the CPI and PPI data right after we are going to be having the midterm elections. And then from there, I think we're going to see some positive news that Tesla can come out with and say and actually move the stock forward a little bit. So I think we're going to get information about new gigafactories coming out, look at the Cybertruck ordering page coming out. I think we're going to be getting a bunch of information like this over the next month that's going to really start giving us that nice momentum going forward into the end of the year. And you guys can let us know down in the comments below, how much of an epic Q4 do you think that we are going to have? Do you think that we are going to hit 500,000 deliveries? I know some of you have mentioned that you do think we will hit that number. I personally, I'm coming in at 469,000 vehicles for production and about 450,000 vehicles for delivery. So that's where I'm at right now, and I will adjust those numbers on a weekly basis for all of my members and patrons. So you guys can let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I do want to apologize too. Yesterday I was supposed to have on Dr. Jack, Pedro, and Vinny, but my son decided to change his schedule, so I was not able to re-coordinate with all of them. So stay tuned. I will let you guys know when I will be having all of them on. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat, that link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have that membership program and a Patreon. Those links are also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.